Welcome back to week 2 of the NFL Pick Series. Before we start things off, I just want to thank a few new subscribers. I told them I would before week 1 and I didn't put it in that video, so I'll put it here in week 2. And on with the show. Alright, so the first game we're opening up with is Minnesota traveling to Chicago. Minnesota hung in it against Detroit, and I really thought Minnesota was going to pull out the win, but Detroit was the better team on that day. Minnesota did awesome. I thought the game was going to take off after Adrian Peterson's touchdown run right there in the beginning, and then all of a sudden it just started falling apart. The Bears, on the other hand, let Cincinnati take the lead the whole game, almost the whole game, until they came back and won. So I'm going to give this one to the Bears. They look stronger. Compared to Minnesota, their defense looks good, and Jay Cutler just has to come through for that team.
Vikings at Bears. I really like the Bears for the rest of the season. They fared well against the Bengals and beat them by 3. People give Cutler a hard time, which they should, but I trust him being at home and against the Vikings defense. The Bears win this one with ease.
The next game we're doing is Denver traveling to the Giants, and the Giants got embarrassed on Sunday Night Football by the Cowboys. I give the Cowboys defense major kudos for getting rid of Rob Ryan, bringing in the new defensive coordinator, and they looked phenomenal. Although Eli Manning threw 3 interceptions, he did have 4 touchdowns. 3 of which were to Victor Cruz. Now, on the other hand, Big Brother Peyton over here, throwing 7 touchdowns and playing the best game of his life. I think Denver's going to come out of MetLife Stadium with the W because Denver's defense played amazing against the Broncos and Peyton Manning was spot on.
Broncos at Giants. Finally, we get to see another Manning Bowl. Peyton probably had the best game of his career on kickoff night against the Ravens, while Eli seemed to struggle in Dallas. It's going to be great to see the brothers face off at New York, but the Broncos are going to dominate again against little brother Eli.
San Francisco traveling to the Seattle Seahawks. This game has become almost to the potential of Steelers and Ravens. Definitely the Steelers-Ravens rivalry of this generation. The San Francisco 49ers just putting away the Packers. Everybody thought, the 49ers were going to have a problem. The Packers were going to have a problem. You didn't know which team to choose in that one. But San Francisco came out on top. Although they did get a call given an extra 3rd down and they got a touchdown on it, they still won the game. There's no excuses for Green Bay. Seattle, on the other hand, could not put away the Panthers. The Panthers were just 1 score away from taking the lead back, and I don't think Seattle took the lead until later in the game. I'm going to give the edge to Colin Kaepernick in this one. I think he's overall the better QB compared to Russell Wilson.
49ers at Seahawks. The Seahawks barely beat the Panthers on Sunday, but the 49ers seemed to do just fine against the Packers. When at home, Seattle is one of the toughest teams to beat. However, I think Kaepernick makes up for the embarrassing game he had there last year and has a decent game this time against the Seahawks defense.
Pittsburgh traveling to Cincinnati. I'm going to have to take the Bengals in this one, given the showing that Pittsburgh put on. They got completely embarrassed by the Titans. Cincinnati had the game against the Chicago Bears until, they started getting fatigued and they started giving up, and the Bears came back and took the advantage and won. Cincinnati proved that they can keep it going with an upper-ranked team, so I'm going to take the Cincinnati Bengals against the Steelers in this one.
Steelers at Bengals. The Steelers are the most accident-prone team in the league, in my opinion. They seem to be constantly losing top-tier players, and their game against the Titans was no exception as they lost 3 players for the season. The Bengals, on the other hand, are on the rise. On their home turf on Monday Night Football, the Bengals will beat the Steelers. Being a Pittsburgh fan, it's tough for me to say that, but after the Tennessee game, I am losing the amount of fucks to give about them.
My upset pick of the week, I am very proud to say this one, although I'm going to get a lot of shit for it. The Kansas City Chiefs over the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys defense looked phenomenal, as I said before, but Kansas City just took apart the Jags. I want to see how well the Chiefs can do against the Cowboys, with the Cowboys coming into Arrowhead Stadium. I think the Chiefs can just take this game. I think Alex Smith can prove that the Chiefs are back in town, they're going to make a playoff run, and that the Cowboys are going to leave Arrowhead Stadium with a loss.
For my upset, I'm going with the Dolphins at Colts. I think the Dolphins are becoming a much better team this season. Sure, they only beat the Browns, but I feel like the offense is starting to improve with Tannehill, and the defense is okay. The Colts beat the Raiders, but only slightly with a 21-17 score. The Colts are good with luck, but I think the Dolphins prevail in this one.
Welcome back to the Shame Report. New year, new Shame Report, new douchebags to put up with who comment on your videos. And here we go.
One great season? You do know Niners went 13-3 in 2011. Get your facts straight.
Now this may be true, and I did say they had one great season, and I was referring to the 2011 season. Let's look back at the record from San Francisco from 10 years before. 2010, 6-10. 2009, 8-8. 2008, 7-9, 2007, 5-11, 2006, 7-9, 2005, 4-12, 2004, 2-14, 2003, 7-9. This is a totally different generation of 49ers fans, and in the past 10 years, you can't go above 500 until Alex Smith and then Colin Kaepernick in 2012 when he took him to the Super Bowl. So just sit down and enjoy the videos and relax. And a message regarding spam.
Well, there's egg and bacon, egg, sausage and bacon, egg and spam, egg, bacon and spam, egg, bacon, sausage and spam, spam, bacon, sausage and spam, spam, egg, spam, bacon and spam, spam, egg and spam, spam, baked beans, spam and spam.
Be sure to bring your death certificate if you decide to join